Being unchanged in all conditions isn't passive dullness. Revisit previous video. This is something I wrote, and I was just watching some of our other Active Real Nonsense videos, and we had talked about if you could teleport everywhere, and you could do that, and if you weren't, if your state of being remained the same through all these different places that you could end up, you'd have to be really intelligent for that to take place. And I was just thinking about that and thinking of other people watching these and how that, saying that is, we're not talking about a passiveness at all or a dullness of being. I was just thinking how people would see you wouldn't have any response to any thing that's happening. What are you, just passive or dull or whatever? But it's total opposite.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to explain it.
When people look at things, it's almost like the same way that people look at the concept of responsibility and responsibilities, having responsibilities for things. It's very related to that, or very similar, in the sense of something happens, I need to do something about it. Almost like the beginning of Yobi, just something happens and a thing was done, so a thing must be done, and that continuation of one thing happens and another thing happens, almost like cause and effect, but this deliberate, not even deliberate, but this necessity of implication, something has to happen, so it's all reactive, and it is perceived that way as not being reactive but being necessary. And yet if you were to be responsible, then you're actually able to respond to absolutely every single situation that comes up perfectly. So you are the most active you can be, because you can always adjust every single thing. A reactive person, they're completely incapable. They just appear in these different places. They might do a lot of stuff. It's going to be so feeble and reactionary and convoluted and nonsensical. Where a responsive person is I don't need to do anything here. Here either. As soon as one comes up where they have to actually make a big action, they're able to and will, because it's the thing to do. Where a reactive person is just going to do all sorts of things. It's just going to be a mess, and they're going to be lost the whole way until things settle at some point. And then even when they're settled, they're just going to be still a reactive, nonsensical person. So to be able to be where you are, regardless of all circumstances, even if you are teleporting from place to place to place to place, it is the most active thing you could possibly do, to be there when you're there and not react to it. You cannot be more active than that, because that means you can literally act in any way all the time perfectly.